In the year 2012, there was a huge bombing in Borno which destroyed almost 10% of the state. The market was set ablaze, the people were chased out of their home, and that is why most northerners who are in Lagos, Nigeria tend to be riding bike, and when you ask where they are from, they say they are from Borno, Maiduguri and neighboring states. Boko Haram is a terrorist group in Nigeria which was founded in the year 2002 by Mohammed Yusuf. Honestly, Boko Haram actually started by gathering groups of Muslim people and putting them together in a school and trying to teach them things that are actually not in the Islamic way of religion. Anyways, welcome back to the channel, and please do well to subscribe to this channel to get this video to more people. Boko Haram is a terrorist group which has been terrorizing Nigeria and mostly the northern part. Though they became very popular from the year 2010 all the way to 2014, where there was a lot of bombing in Nigeria and lots of mass destruction. On today's video, we'll be looking at how this Boko Haram and terrorist group got to explore Nigeria as a whole and also took hold of most of the priority things in Nigeria, such as the weapons, the land that are very vulnerable, and also communities, villages, states as a whole. This group has actually turned down Nigeria into another thing entirely. Welcome back to the channel once again. Now, let's look at 2010, when this outbreak of Boko Haram became so popular and people started to realize that they are actually messing with the wrong people. Boko Haram started giving us things that were not expected, like hurting families and destroying properties at home. So, who actually paid these people to do these things, or did they do it out of free will? Anyways, this group actually started doing this thing as a way of helping people. Instead, they turned it around and started harming the society, giving arms to the poor man, which has no other thing to do than to sit around. So this actually helped most of the poor people in the northern places, and they all decided to go into this terrorist group of a thing, and they started by shooting, stealing and destroying things around the communities. Most people mistake the terrorists Boko Haram as the Fulanis, and also sometimes Nigerians think this terrorist group actually came from Niger, which is a neighboring country in Western Africa. Now, let me tell you, in 2002, when Mohammed Yusuf started organizing this group of people, actually nobody paid attention to him, thinking maybe this is just a way of helping the poor masses, not knowing he was actually putting them together in a school, which he called a school actually, but not really a school. He taught them the opposite way of Islamic and also presented them with arms which they will use, as according to him, he told them these arms will be used to safeguard themselves and protect themselves, not knowing to them that they will later in return use this arm to go steal and destroy things around the communities. Now, when Boko Haram became very popular and people started noticing Boko Haram and the problem that they have gotten themselves into, especially during the time of President Goodluck Jonathan tenure, this was very rampant, and the armed robbery, the destruction, the bombing in Borno and other neighboring states were so massive that it actually affected his reign and ruling in the as a Nigerian president. Pardon me for that. So this actually helped destroy his campaign, and that was why he lost the second tenure. He tried as much as possible to win the heart of the northerners, forgetting that this presidential stuff actually involved the east, the south and the west, not only the northern people. Now, this Boko Haram group of things have actually exploded and grown so big that whenever they are being caught, people actually declare them wanted. Even the community people catch them, beat them, arrest them and take them to the police. But something that amazed me is that whenever these people are being caught, the government actually take them, put them to some kind of rehabilitation and turn them into the military. I don't know if that makes sense, but to me it sounds so off. These people are people who have been killing the citizens, and whenever they are being caught, they take them back to the military for rehabilitation. That is just not making sense to me. Anyways, Boko Haram started growing and demolishing, destroying and scattering things in the country as a whole. In the year 2012, there was a huge bombing in Borno which destroyed almost 10% of the state. The market was set ablaze, the people were chased out of their home, and that is why most northerners who are in Lagos, Nigeria, tend to be riding bike, and when you ask where they are from, they say they are from Borno, Maiduguri, and neighboring states. This is because these people lost their home, family, and loved ones due to the harm of Boko Haram. As of today, 2025, the Boko Haram people are still moving forward and bombing places, but maybe not as much as they used to before in the year 2010 and 2012, 13, 14, 15, and also 16. Actually, after this kind of look like a political problem, let me tell you, during the time of President Goodluck Jonathan, there was almost 80% of bombing in Nigeria. But after the presidential rule of Jonathan, as Buhari took over power, the bombing reduced. This actually made it look like there was something the governor or government were not telling us. Now, Tinubu is in power, and there's about 10% or lower percent of bombing. Basically, since he became president, there has been no complaint or bombing from Boko Haram. It kind of feel like Boko Haram has left the country, but trust me, I know they are somewhere and they are still hiding. So the question now is, who is always giving them arm to destroy people properties? And also, not to talk about who is giving them arm alone, this group of terrorists have decided not to give peace to the people. They have been harming Nigerians, destroying things, and also making people run helter-skelter. Aside from Boko Haram, there are also little militant terrorists and co around the state, around the country. Nigeria was listed the 7th most terrorized country in the world. That was during the mass destruction, and this actually gave bad reputation to the country. But mind you, during those bad reputation time and bad country time, the Nigerian economy was number one in the whole of Africa. It was growing so rapidly. But now that the terrorism has dropped over 90% and Nigeria feels so safe than it has ever felt in a long time, now you tend to realize that the economy is falling. Look at the price hike in petroleum, food, and other things that were very, very affordable now are very, very difficult to afford for the layman. To my own point of view, I think the government actually are playing games on the citizen. I don't know if this is right to say, but allegedly, this is what I feel and this is what I think is actually happening. Because the mass destruction and demolition is actually happening mostly at the northerners. Now, look at the eastern part of Nigeria, which we'll also discuss about in another video. We all know that this lockdown stuff that's been going on in the east actually is due to some political disagreement, and it has actually brought the country into a lot of shame. It's so unfair that Nigeria that used to be peaceful and loved is not really the same anymore. Boko Haram, now you all know the history. Boko Haram actually started in the year 2002 by Mohammed Yusuf. The popular leader and the most popular leader that was known as Boko Haram leader is Shehu Shekau. So Shekau was Mohammed Shekau. I think that was the name, yeah, Mohammed Shekau. So he was very, very popular, and a lot of times we had the news that he was killed. I was back in primary, secondary school then. So whenever the news comes out that Shekau has been killed, all of a sudden he will make another video and post it. Now, people always complain that these terrorists, how do people get to know their name? It's also amazing to me, like a new group of terrorists just pull up and you already know their name. Anyways, I don't know how they get to know their name, who give them arms, and how these people tend to survive so many years in the forest and demolition things. Where are their location and who are these people actually working for? These are my major concerns, because I really want my country to be peaceful, safe, and also sound. Tell me what you think concerning this terrorism in Nigeria. Once again, this is channel made for you and I. So drop your opinion in the comment section and let's have a proper communication. See you on the next video. Please don't forget to like, share, and also comment on this video. Stay blessed.